So now, CIS 130, now that we have the welcome stuff out of the way, the next most pertinent question is, aside from the fact that this is probably required as a course for you to take before you get your certificate or degree, aside from this course being required, why is it important that we know what a database is? Why is it important that I can interact with a database management software? In this case, it's going to be Access, but really the skills and terms that we nail down here for this course, you can take to any and all other database management platforms, and with a little bit of like syntactical change, just a keyword here and there that might be a little bit different, you'll be able to interact just as successfully there as you were able to interact here with Access. So why do we need to know about databases? My suggestion is just to look at the news, just to look at what is happening in your industry, just to look at what is happening even here in education and what would be Rock Valley College, is organizations are relying more and more and more on the collection of data to generate information. So data is really just a snapshot of an individual transaction. So you generate transactions each and every day, just as like a consumer, as a student, etc. So so I commute from Rock Valley all the way back home to Milwaukee. So I am super duper familiar with having to stop at gas stations too many times over the course of a week. And when I stop at a gas station, that's a single transaction. It is the credit card number, it is the time, it is the amount of gas, it is the gas purchased. It doesn't mean anything. It is just one transaction. When I go to stop at the grocery store and I buy, apples and bananas and brisket and potatoes, it doesn't mean anything. It's just one transaction. But when we put together lots of different transactions, we can start to see patterns in those individual pieces of data. We can start to see, potentially anyway, we can start to see where we might be able to make better decisions about, how much staff to have. We might be able to make better decisions at Rock Valley College about how many section offerings we would have of CIS 130 if we knew how many individuals signed up, what semesters individuals sign up for it more, what programs individuals sign up for CIS 130 for. Instead of having to guess, what a database allows us to do is see prior individual transactions in a collected state, so that what we can do is hopefully generate information out of that so that we can make better decisions. That's really at its core the altruistic drive of having all of this data. Now, I'm also sure that the flip side of that is something that you are familiar with as well. It is that corporations are taking all of these individual transactions that you and I are doing, via our cell phones and everything else, and turning that into tracking and ad data. That is absolutely true. That is not my preference either. But that is certainly not something that we would cover here in CIS 130. This is really more about access and data collections and what we can do to organize, connect, and generate information about that. So I will, in session 3, provide just a little bit of, okay, now that we're looking all at this data in the same way, what's a couple of things we might be able to do to help harness and secure our own data, but that is essentially disconnected from the main thrust of the course. We're really digging into why we have databases, what positive impacts we can generate from using data in databases. And again, what can we do to give you a broad skill set that you can take, based on Microsoft Access, but apply to other database management platforms and positively offset your career? That 130 is why we do databases.